Hey guys, this is IntroducingEmy and we're back with another Redline Tuesday. This one was sent to us by ninjacomics.deviantart.com and this is Zora Link, I think from Ocarina of Time. I'm actually a pretty big fan of the Legend of Zelda games, but I've never actually played one myself, but I watched about a bajillion Let's Plays and playthroughs of them, so I get the idea. So anyway, real quick, I just want to say that this one's painted, so I'm actually gonna, when I redline it, I'm also gonna kind of paint it because I feel like that would be more honest to the original piece. So yeah, so there's the original, and this is gonna be mine. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna up the contrast quite a bit because I'm having trouble seeing it. Where? Perf. Let me turn off. Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. So, and also, as always, I'm going to flip it because I've been looking at it for a while from this direction. So, bear with me. Now, because this is on an angle, I am going to work on it at an angle, but first I want to find where it's the most vertical. I want to make a note of that. And as always, I don't have the right brush selected because I don't think ahead. So, what I'm looking for is a line that goes from his neck to about between his legs. Yeah, that looks good. My brush feels a little funny. Okay, so what was the angle? -37. Well, it's negative because I have the image flipped, but that's okay. Okay, so there's that, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rotate it back straight. I was actually gonna do this part all off camera, and then I thought, nah, I might as well just show them how I do this. So normally I would paint this straight and then just flip the whole drawing around. It's just a little easier to work on it that way, but I understand that you're sending this to me complete, so yeah, I get it, don't worry. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna make this canvas a little bigger so I can see what's going on. And then I'm going to rotate this, you guessed it, -37. Okay. Now, the reason I'm doing this is so that I can set up a box from which to work. So I'm just gonna do a real rough box. And I'm gonna delete the edges. So let's see here. So we want that, and we want by the way, I'm using the Transform Perspective tool. I may have overdone it a little bit on the one side. I just want to make sure it's not too twisted or anything. Okay, and then we're gonna duplicate that. We're gonna make it a teeny smaller. So do you remember when you were like a kid and you would draw like little boxes, like faux 3D boxes all over your notebook. Everybody's like, no, I mean, I never did that. Well, this is kind of like what we're doing here. Okay. Perfect. Now, the reason I'm doing it like this on its own canvas is, don't worry, I still have the other one open and we'll go back to it, but I kind of want to do all the sketching and anatomy work over here, and then I'll take it back over and yeah, then we'll go to town on it. Okay, so what I've done is put this box around it to sort of help us see like what kind of a perspective we're going to be drawing in, and it's still just like a little bit off, I feel. Well, not so much anymore. I kind of fixed it. But yeah, so I'm going to change the color of it. I'm going to make it like green. So let me rename that layer. That is the box layer. Okay. And then over top of that, I'll do the anatomy work. And the reason I chose, I'm actually going to crop this. The reason I chose to go ahead and like paint this one is because it's so rare that I get drawings that are painted, and I did have a lot of people say they were interested in seeing me like kind of paint a Redline Tuesday as opposed to just like going over it in line art and saying, you know, correct this, this, and this, because it's easy to say, oh yeah, change the anatomy here, here, and here, but if it's like done in a totally different style other than like line art, you're just like, what? You know, I get it. I need to move the arm, but how does that look, you know, when I move it, if it's not line art, if it's painted? So I'm not saying that this person, Ninja Comics, is thinking like this. I'm just saying in general. I don't like to assume what other people are thinking, because when you assume, you make an ass out of me and you, or you and me. Whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna delete like the bubbles and water and stuff. By the way, I love the way the bubbles are painted on this. I have never been good at doing the bubbles. I am gonna say this is episode 25 Redline rough. Okay, so now we just have Link all isolated, and we are going to redline him now. And I'm going to turn it just so that it's a little easier to work with. I'm going to make the box a little fainter. Okay. So hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. Now his head looks great, and I'm not really going to touch that. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to show. I'm actually going to make this bigger. Now everybody remind Emmy to go back to 72 DPI when I go to the painting. Up, I'm huge. Where am I? I'm lost. Oh buddy, I am huge. Okay, so his neck would be here or here, depending on how you want to draw it, but I think in the game his head is like on a peg. But that's just because of the limitations of polygon rendering. So depending on like how anatomade you'd want it, that's what you do. And then here's our shouldering muscle going to our pec. Or not our pec, our bicep. My bad. Sorry, I was looking at the pec, which would be this. Make my brush a little bigger. Before I started this video, I was looking at images of like really muscular men swimming. Oh my god, they have so many muscles. I was like, ew, he's got like 14,000. And And then Emmy was banned from the Olympics. So his shoulder blade would be right about in there. And it's hard to see, but in this drawing here, but so this is the back of a person. Just trust me, it's the back. So when a person, and here's the spine. So when a person's arms are down, the shoulder blades are like little triangles. They're actually a little more, they're kind of shaped like this. They sort of look like little steaks, little T-bone steakums. So when your arms are down, they're like that. And then when you put your arms up, because this is where your socket is resting, the shoulder blades have to rotate and they kind of go in. And if you look at pictures of people's backs with their arms up, you'll see like this really big like pinch of the skin there. This is kind of a bad example, but if you look up some photo references of guys with their arms up in the air, especially like muscular guys, you can really see it. Look at bodybuilders. They always like have all their muscles like up and rippling to the surface, so they're pretty easy to see like anatomically what's going on there. So one thing you want to be careful of is when you're drawing this like pinch where the forearm meets the upper arm or like the bicep area, you want to be careful that this isn't like pinched in too much. You want to make sure that it really looks like it's connecting. That's actually kind of a faux pas in video game models. You'll see like, because what they do is they model the character in like a neutral pose with like their arms out like this. Especially in like old video games, you see this a lot with like 3D models. I'm talking about like video games with 3D models. You'll see them, they're modeled like this, and then when they put the bones in so that the character will move in the game, the arm, when it bends up like this, you'll get like a weird gap. Like that. And in humans, that would, what it would be like is like this. It would fold in and overlap. But older models can't compensate for that. And that's kind of what that reminded me of a little bit. So, let's see here. Also, I apologize if you hear a child screaming in the background. I have my windows open because it is so hot here today, and my neighbors have a new little baby across the way, and I can hear him. Maybe you guys can't. Maybe I shouldn't even worry about it. Okay. So we got our meats fitting nicely into our box. So one of our meats might need to be a little bigger. Like that. I noticed that I actually went and looked up what the Zora wings look like because I didn't know. this could be a little rounder. But that's about it. If you don't like that, then don't do it. I'm not going to come to your house and twist your arm. Do it! Make them Zora wings a little rounder. I guess fins, not wings. He's not going to fly. And I get what you were going for here. He's kind of got his arm twisted so the wings are like, you know, you can see. Wow. Wow. Plane. Please. Okay, gosh. I just had a plane come up and tell me my business. Jeez. Also, I totally don't even get how, like, the Zora fins come out of his cuffs. Like, I don't even get that. I just don't. Also, his elbows should be down more, sorry. Okay. So, I get what you're doing with the hand here, but it's still, you wouldn't be able to see that much of the finger right there, so just turn it in. I'm just gonna rough that in, I'll come back. The hands are always tricky, so I don't spend too much time hemming and hawing around with them. Come on, man. Wow. Fine. Are you even kidding me? Is this plane coming back? Is he gonna have like a second conversation with me? That's it. Next video I record today, I'm turning on the air conditioning so I can close the windows. I'm like one of those people, I try to be like real sparse with the air conditioning just because it's so expensive, you know, to have it running. Now we're gonna see some major Zora butt cheeks here, so y'all gonna have to calm down. Oh, my sketches are so rough. Makes me depressed. I always worry my sketches are like way too rough for you guys, and I worry that you don't get it as well as if it weren't so rough. So let me turn this real quick so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so that's what I was afraid of, that this side is kind of collapsed a little bit to try to meet perspective. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish, like I'm going to go over this foot and then I'm going to move everything into location. Now I tend to have an easier time drawing feet when they are not jumping all over the place, when they are positioned like with the top going up and the bottom going down. You know what I mean? So like, and if you still don't get what I'm saying, well, get out. No. It's just a little easier for me to like draw things when they are basically facing the way that you would probably see them in the wild, so to speak. See them in nature. I said that a little bit like, oh god, I can't think of that comedian now. Well, it's a cup of dirt. I call it cup of dirt. Wow, I can tell it's not Louis C.K. I can tell he sees his name on in my mind. I call it cup of dirt. Ugh, sorry. My navigator is like exploding all over the place. Probably making it some of yins all seasick here. Get it? Seasick, Zora? Whoa, okay. I don't like that foot. I don't like it. It's a little too ballerina-y for my taste. I'm gonna erase it. In fact, I'm actually gonna turn this off. It's like his butt would be there. Butt crack would be there. Pelvic landmark would be there. That's not like a Triforce tramp stamp. I think I've explained it in previous videos, but so dude's back, shoulders, back of rib cage, stomach, hips, and then butt cheeks, and then your legs and everything's down there. Okay, so right at, it's like literally just on top of the butt crack. There's like this little triangular landmark that you can kind of use to gauge where things are. Okay, his hips could be wider, whatever. But there's actually a lot of times little dimples right there. You can kind of see where that is, and then from there the rest goes down. I guess like it's like the bottom point is right above the top of the ass crack. Okay, so it's like a good way to kind of like measure things on the back, and I'm kind of feeling like that is actually too high. Hey man, I get it. Working in perspective is hard. You know, it's part of the human eye to just want to like straighten everything out and clean everything up and put everything into sort of like a neutral pose for easy viewing. I totes get it. So then I'm just debating these feet. You know, like I get it, like he's diving into the water. But he's also wearing boots. And he's also the hero of time, damn it. No, I'm sort of debating what is the best. Because his knees are slightly bent, I think, and it's almost like when his knees are bent, it's a little less like he's going to be pointing his toes. Uh-oh, do I hear kitties fighting out in the hallway? They better not be. I'm actually going to go in and like rough this out with a wider brush so I can see what's going on here, so I can feel it out. Okay, so this is actually a little bit of a pain in the ass position to draw the feet from. Don't worry, it's not the original artist's fault. It's just like how they didn't do anything. I'm just saying this is like a rough position. I always worry. I don't want to come off like I'm blaming the original artist. Like, why would you do this? No. I also want his calves to look more muscular, but I'm a little nervous to make them any bigger because I don't want it to look like because when you start making things bigger and other things smaller, the perspective gets a little thrown off, so I'm just being a nervous Nelly is all. Better. Better. I think I'm creeping towards something I like. This is a pretty common affair for me to draw and redraw things until I really should go get a reference, but I'm being kind of stick in the mud about that. So now we're going to put him in seamed pantyhose. No, it's just guidelines trying to help me straighten this all out. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. I'm sort of keeping an eye on the time. So I think I'm going to stop the recording here, take this back over onto my canvas, box included. How do I, oh, sorry. I'm still kind of not used to where the rotate tool is in CS6, but anyway, I'm going to take this back over to my original drawing and kind of shimmy it into place. I think I need to adjust the legs just a little more. Something seems wrong. Okay. That's pretty good. I sort of roughed through it a little bit, but time is of the essence. I want to leave time to paint, and then we can always fix more stuff when we're painting. So, all right, cool. I will take this back over into the other drawing, and when we come back, we will paint. All right, bye.